Weibo, the Chinese version of Twitter, censors China's national anthem. Public grievance reaching a critical point as Shanghai citizens say no to the government. Welcome to Sound of Hope News. Today is April 21st. I'm Tom Steffen. Let's continue to see what's happening in Shanghai. The extreme zero COVID policy in Shanghai has led to chaos and public discontent. As the shortage of supplies has worsened, many took to social media to express their dissatisfaction. Chinese microblog Weibo has blocked many sensitive topics. Recently, this includes parts of China's national anthem. Arise, those who do not want to be enslaved. The opening words of the anthem are now censored. Weibo's move sparked criticism from netizens. Chinese journalist Meng Yudong posted, "I never thought that the first verse of the Chinese national anthem will be censored on Weibo." She also shared screenshots. Many Chinese questioned the ridiculousness of censoring the national anthem, calling it crazy, madness, and evil. This past weekend, the anthem's first line became the hottest search term, as Weibo's censorship came with no explanations. Related search terms would not yield any results either. Some sarcastically called out, "Lie flat was banned a few months ago. Now arise is banned. It seems that only kneeling is the correct posture for the new era." One freelance journalist named Ningjing expressed, quote, "The CCP banning the first line of its national anthem was inevitable. Under the rule of the CCP, the Chinese will, sooner or later, rebel. Many people died for no good reason throughout this unjustified city lockdown. If the Chinese people can truly and completely see the true face of the CCP through these tragedies and come to realize that they have no power but are rather enslaved, then this regime may have reached the day of disintegration." Many outside of China are amused by Weibo's censorship. Henry Gao, a professor of law at the Singapore University of Management, asked, "So when are you going to censor the entire national anthem?" Financial Times Hong Kong correspondent Eli Meixler stated, "This is so delusional." After repeated citywide COVID testing, many Shanghai residents started to refuse the government's mandatory COVID tests and posted "No PCR test" signs on their doors. The anger has also flooded Chinese social media. People criticized the current pandemic prevention model, saying it was rigid, violent, and inhumane. Weibo, the Chinese version of Twitter, has to block many hot topics, even the Chinese national anthem, for days. State-hired censors have struggled with the sheer volume of criticism of the government. Some analysts question whether dynamic zero COVID strategy could be maintained as the public anger is mounting. Shanghai has been fully locked down for 3 weeks. Millions of residents have been required to undergo testing during this time, resulting in long lines. Weariness and fear of greater risk of infection are now rampant. Radio Free Asia reported that many residents are unclear why they need to be tested repeatedly, calling the whole situation bizarre. "We have done more than 20 PCR tests, so what else is there left to do?" said one Shanghai resident, Zheng Jianming. "The PCR test could put you at risk. We believe it's the biggest source of potential infection. Now fewer and fewer people are doing them," he continued. "We are all negative. We can't go out, so we can't get infected." Many people post messages like, "No nucleic acid test," or "negative antigen self-test," or "refuse the test" on social media. Dozens of residents of one residential community said, "We don't want to be tested anymore," after the neighborhood committee asked them to line up downstairs for another round of PCR testing. A name list of people who died due to lockdown restrictions recently appeared on social media, along with the question of whether the cure is worse than the disease. We hope you've enjoyed our news. Please like and subscribe to Sound of Hope News, and we'll see you next time.